Okay, in this lab, I'm going to show you how to do the graph in the spreadsheet for the friction lab. Okay, so open up Excel, and what you want to do is type in these columns. Right, we're going to put our added masses here. Right, we're going to do the total. These are in grams, right? Weight in newtons. This is going to be the static force in newtons. And this will be kinetic force in newtons, right? So we're going to type our data in here, right? Okay. Now the masses that we added 0 and 250, and we're going to add. Look at this. I'm going to show you this power tip. I know it didn't save any time, but isn't that cool, right? Now the total grams, for the total grams, what we want to do is let's suppose the block actually has a mass of 201.3, right? What I want to do is I want to add 201.3 to everything on this cell here, right? So what you do is you go equals this column plus 201.3. Now only do that if your block has a mass of 201.3. You want to do whatever your block's mass is. Okay? And there you go, there's that, right? Now weight, to calculate the weight, this is mass in grams. To get the weight, you go, and the parentheses here are totally unnecessary, but I'm just going to do it anyway for clarity. It's this divided by 1,000, right, times 9.8. Okay? So fill that down, and there it is, right? Now, when you do this, it'll be like kind of crazy like that. You can use this to make it look nice, okay? Now, I'm just going to paste some data here. You're going to fill in, you're going to fill this in yourself. So you're going to type your data in there. Let's suppose that's your data, right? So you test the forces and you get that data. This is the actual data you get with the force scale, right? Okay. The next thing that you want to do, once you've typed your data in there, right, is that you want to figure out the static coefficient, right, and the kinetic, wow, I can't spell kinetic. Okay. These are, watch this, I double click those little cell boundaries and it adjusts it. These are equal to, the mu is equal to the force divided by the weight. So I go equals force divided by weight. That's just a / enter, right? This guy equals the force divided by the weight. Okay? And I can select both those and I can go wabba. And then that's way too many digits, so I'm going to use this guy here. 2 is good enough, don't you think? Okay, so now we've got all this stuff. We've typed our data in here. We've had to calculate the coefficients of friction, right? Now we're ready to have it make a graph, okay? So let's put some graphs in here. What you want to do is you want to select this stuff. Even select the words at the top, because something neat happens when you do that. Watch. Insert, you want to do scatter graph. Choose the one that doesn't have the lines, like that. Oh, that's pretty. Okay? If you do that, notice that the legend now has the column headers in it. That's pretty cool. Okay? So we've got, some funky data, but it looks all right. Before I get very far here, I'm going to do a print preview. And we're good. We're pretty good here, right? I'm going to close that. Notice I can make this a little bigger. Those dotted lines show us how big we can make it. Okay? Now, I also want to go into layout. I want to add a chart title above the chart. I also want to do axis titles, vertical. I like the rotated one. Okay, and then axis titles, a horizontal. I like the below the axis, right? So this would be, I could say that this is force of friction on the table. Okay. And then this guy here, I'm doing Control A to select all that stuff because it's kind of hard to get an insertion pointer there. This is the force of friction in newtons. That's N there, right? This guy is weight in newtons. Okay? And we're almost ready to go here, right? But what we want to do is we want to add some best fit lines here. Okay, so you actually, what I'm doing here now is a right click. I do a right click on that, add trend line, and the linear one is what you want. before you click close, click display equation, and then click close. Magically, it puts a best fit line through there. Now that 0.4008, that slope right there, that's actually your coefficient of friction, which would be kind of like the average of this, only this is better. Okay? So that's kind of cool, right? And then we're going to right click this guy, add trend line, choose linear if it's not chosen. That's the default, by the way. Display the equation on the chart, and I like to drag this guy down here. That 0.2211, that's the slope that you get for this right now. That should be kind of the average of this ish. Okay. This is better than this. This is better than that for figuring out the coefficient of friction. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Before you go and print your thing, do a print preview, please, please, please. Make sure that it's not printing like part of it over on another sheet of paper. That's just sad. Okay. Remember, you got to do 2 of these, right? You could put the other one, the next one, on this sheet. You could even click here, select everything, do copy, right? Go to that next sheet, click here, and go paste. And then you could just type your data in, right? That's just a power tip for you. Okay. So happy spreadsheeting.